Human migration is also a major factor in the emergence and re-emergence of communicable diseases. Human migration is frequently not a matter of choice, but rather a forced movement because of wars or government and political conflicts. The United Nations describes these types of individuals and defines them as IDPs, or internally displaced persons. The term refugee is reserved for those who are forced under the same circumstances to cross an international border. The UN has calculated that there was roughly 21 million refugees in 2007, but in 2015, the number of refugees more than doubled to an unprecedented number of approximately 59 million people. This is mainly attributed to the Syrian civil war and ongoing deterioration in countries such as Afghanistan, Burundi, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Mali, Somalia, South Sudan, the Ukraine, and Myanmar. Masses of refugees are forced to settle in uninhabitable environments without adequate shelter, food, clean drinking water, and latrines. Personal hygiene and sanitation may be virtually non-existent. And the overcrowding of many of these refugee camps leads to the increased risk of transmissible diseases. Finally, societal factors also play a role in transmitting infectious disease. Millions of children attend daycare centers that put them at risk for a variety of communicable diseases such as diarrhea, strep throat, conjunctivitis, viral infections, and respiratory infections. If the children were to stay home with family members with healthy and strong immune systems, there would be fewer transmission of disease. This is also true of elderly citizens living in nursing homes, adult daycare centers, and assisted living environments. And the reason why these are very similar is that both types of populations, the very young and the very old, have reduced immune system strength. And as a result, where they congregate, infectious disease spreads much more readily. Globalization of the food supply and centralized food processing, including fast food restaurants, dining out, and takeout food, are all also a consequence of the spread of infectious disease. Contaminated tomatoes in 2008 was spread to many parts of the United States, leading to 1,000 cases of salmonella. And in 2018, there was a multi-state outbreak of E. coli 0157H7 associated with contaminated romaine lettuce that came from California. It's the spread of these various diseases through many parts of the US and the world from one centralized region that's a product of the fact that our population and our human behavior can lead to this type of food production, which can lead to the spread of disease. Tattooing and body piercing, finally, are the last societal behavior that can lead to a transmission of infectious disease. The reason, of course, is because it punctures the skin, an important barrier in preventing infectious disease. Anything that intentionally punctures the skin can lead to a risk of infection with a variety of microbes, particularly that of Staphylococci, which is already on the surface of many people's skin, some of which strains can be infectious and disease-causing. In 2004 to 2005, there were 44 cases of an antibiotic-resistant strain of this type of microbe known as MRSA, or methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, that led to 44 cases of this disease as a result of unlicensed tattoo artists working in Ohio, Kentucky, and Vermont. Which of these human behaviors do you think applies to you and your behavior? And which of these could you remedy or fix in order to be better at fighting infectious disease? Not only for yourself, but for the people around you. For instance, have you gotten your flu shot this year? Something to consider. That's it for Chapter 4. I hope you appreciated all of the new information about how we can fight infectious disease and what is leading to the current challenge in fighting these different ailments.